Hey there, everybody. Welcome to another game in Inside Pitch. I haven't decided what I'm going to do now that I've finished May Madness and Stratomatic. I'm taking a break from Stratomatic for just a little bit, so that it precludes me from getting back to my 77 White Sox replay, because that would be on Strat. So I'm trying to get a break from Strat. So I decided to pull out Inside Pitch and give that a go again. Got the 1984 season. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with the 1984 season. But in lieu of anything else to do in the first game, I thought I would pull out the opening day game. So this is the traditional opener in Cincinnati, Riverfront Stadium, 1984, the New York Mets and the Cincinnati Reds. Let's look at the starting lineups for both teams. First, for the visiting Mets, you got Wally Backman at second, Jose Oquendo's at short, Keith Hernandez is at first, George Foster's in left, Darryl Strawberry's in right, Mookie Wilson's in center, Hubie Brooks is at third, Ron Hodges behind the plate, and Mike Torres on the mound. Obviously near the end of Torres' career. For the Reds, we got Reedus in left, Milner in center, Concepcin at short, Parker in right, Driessen at first, Sask at third, Oster at second, Dan Ardell, the catcher, and Mario Soto is on the mound for the Reds here on opening day. I thought about doing some sort of a little tutorial on this, but I think there's been enough inside pitch games going on recently that I think most people probably know how to play it. If somebody really wants one, I guess we could do that. I know that several people have already done tutorials, namely CP Cards and Dice and Chris from Tabletop Sports Delaware. They've both done those. So I would only be doing, adding on to them. So let's get everything lined up. So hopefully you can see everything. Again, Mario Soto is on the mound, and in 1984 he was 18-7. Hey Tony, how you doing? He was 18-7 with a 3.53 ERA in 1984. I'm putting the stadium card a little bit to the side so it's not in the way. We'll pull it out. Can you get Inside Pitch 2020? They haven't done anything with 20. I don't think they're doing any kind of a like History Maker did with the projections or anything, or I don't know what they're going to do, to be honest with you. I got a feeling if you own the 19 set, you've got the most recent set for the next 2 years. Just my opinion. All right, so Wally Backman is going to lead things off. And just I'll do a real quick refresher for anybody that hasn't seen the game in a while, or, maybe not at all. You use 3 dice, a red and a white die. And you always start with the pitcher card. Actually, I should have these reversed, because you always start with a pitcher card. I want to go left to right like you're reading a book. So you always start with a pitcher card. Hi, Mark. How you doing? Always start with a pitcher card. And the red die is going to tell you what column you're on the pitcher card. The white die is going to tell you what row it is. Then you get a result. And sometimes the at-bat finishes with the pitcher card. Most times it will go to the batter card. All right, and then you re-roll the same thing again, and the red and white take care of that as well. The D20 are on range, different checks and ranges and so forth. So hopefully as I'm playing this, you'll kind of get a feel for it if you haven't seen it in a while or whatnot. Got my score sheet off to the side right here. Hopefully you can see that, and the cards as well. I know that when I go live, the quality is not quite as good as when I record. So that's why I'm a little bit leery sometimes of going live, but I figured, what the heck. So here we go. And also the ballpark card, Riverfront Stadium, is going to add 1 to strikeouts and add 4 to walks. I'm not sure why the walks are so high on here, but that's what it is. So just going to go with it. All right, here we go. Mario Soto facing Wally Backman. We've got a 1-6, and Backman is a switch hitter. So Soto's card on the 1-6 has a split right here on the line. This side is for right-handers. This side is for left-handers. He's a switch hitter, so he's batting left. And that is a star line. That means it's an automatic out. So we go to the star line up here on his card, 1 through 6, and that tells us what the out's going to be. So we'll see what it's going to be. It's a 6. That means he flies to right. So there's 1 away. So Wally Backman is out of there on that star line. So 1 away, and here is Jose Oquendo. You get a 6-4 on Soto, and that is a strikeout chance. The 5 on the blue die against Oquendo. Strikeout against a righty is an 8. You add 1 from stadium, makes it a 9. 5 falls well within that. So it is a strikeout of Jose Oquendo. So 2 down, and that's going to bring up Keith Hernandez. And we get a 1-2 on Soto. That's a potential walk. That's an 11. The 11 is a 16 over here on Hernandez. He's got a 16, so 11 falls well within that. The stadium even brings it up to a 4, which would give him a 20. So 11 is definitely going to make it a walk for Keith Hernandez. Now he's got an H, so as far as the strategy rolls, we're not even going to do anything because he has to have a hit and run to do that. So I'm going to shoe the strategy roll unless it's a chance to steal. So here's George Foster, 5-1. That's a walk chance. Foster's a 6, but again, the stadium's +4, so that makes him a 10. So the 7 falls within the 10, and we have back-to-back walks. So after Soto was so proficient with the first 2 batters, he walks the next 2, and now he's got to deal with the straw man, Darryl Strawberry. We get a 1-1, and that's a single, but it's in parentheses. So that's only used when he's tired. Obviously, in the first inning, he's not tired, so we just treat it as a blank and move on to Strawberry's card. And we get a 5-6. 5-6 is a question mark 8, which means you come up to this little line here against righties, and it's a 1 through 12 to get a hit. The D20 is a 14, so that means he missed his range, so that's simply a fly to center. And the inning is over. So nothing doing for the Mets. They get a couple of walks, but nothing else. And we go to the bottom of the first. Mets, nothing. Reds coming to bat. Mike Torres. Mike Torres on the mound for the Mets here on opening day. And he will be facing Gary Reedus. And something I decided to do with this set, just to try it out, is I used a corner rounder on these cards. So they kind of have the rounded shape like Aback cards. And I think they shuffle better and they just feel better to me to do this. So tried it with the 84 set. I may do it with other inside pitch sets. I'm not sure. Depends on what my mood feels like, I guess. But I just decided to do it with the 84 set just to give it a try, see what would happen. All right, so Torres facing Righty. 3-4. And that's a wild pitch, but nobody's on base, so it's simply a foul ball, and we go right back to Torres's card. And that's a 6-1. That's an S1. That means it's a solid single. You don't even have to go to Reedus' card. It means Torres gives up the hit automatically. He had an ERA of 6.30, so this could be an offensive game for the Reds. Oh, need to check Reedus for his running. He has an attempt of 10. 0 on Torres to change that. So if we get a 1 through 10, he's going to try to steal. 11 through 12 will be a hit and run. That's a 14, so nothing's happening. Tabby just came in. I need to go shut the door. Tabby has a way of getting in the way. All right, so there's no hit and run. There's no steal because he fell out of the 10 range on that 14. So we go to regular at bat for Torres. 4-6, and that's the ballpark. Anytime you get an @ sign, that's the ballpark. So we're going to bring in Riverfront Stadium and roll on that. We get a 1-2. 1-2 is a question mark 9, and up here in the stadium, 1 through 14 is going to be some kind of good hit. Milner is a 9, so 9 means he hits a home run. How about that? Eddie Milner, home run right here. You got it right here. Home run. Home run, Eddie Milner. Home run, Eddie Milner. 2-run homer. And ID, if you're still watching, if you can make sure I'm correct on that H question mark, the 9 fell in this category here on the stadium. But I still feel like I've got to go back to Eddie Milner's card. Do I need to re-roll that, or do I just give him the home run? That's one of these little, when you don't play a game in a while, sometimes you can forget different rules and whatnot. But I think it's a straight home run, but I could be wrong on that. Probably need to pull the rule book out. I've got the little rule book in front of me, but when you think you know all the rules and then obviously something comes up at the last minute to do it, yeah, I think it's a home run, but we'll see. I'm going to count it as a home run right now until ID tells me it's not, and it's in the rule book that it's not. But I'm going to say Milner hit a home run just by the result that came up. So 2-0 Reds. 2-0 Reds early on. Torres getting torched already. Here's Concepcion 1-4 on Torres, and that's another single, S1. So Torres may not be around very long in this game. He is getting shellacked. Now the attempt on Concepcion is a 4, so we're going to roll on the strategy roll. And that's a 7, so nothing's happening there. So Concepcion will have to hold, could not get the jump. Here's the Cobra, Dave Parker. 5-4, and 5-4 is a blank. So when it's blank, goes straight to the batter card. 4-1, that's a single pass second. So we'll check the chart for runner advancement. On an S4, and this is what I'm just going by this chart right here. On an S4, to get from first to third, you have to have a BR rating of 4 through 6. The BR rating on Concepcion is a 3, so he missed it by 1, so he's going to have to hold at second base. So runners at first and second. Still nobody out. And Torres, 5-6. Driessen's a lefty. We'll get a strikeout against a righty. Hello, Mr. Gardner. 5-6, it would be a strikeout against a righty, but since he's a lefty, it's blank. So we go to Driessen's card. Finish the at bat. 1-4 is a G3. This could be a double play with 2 guys on. Concepcion, I keep calling him Concepcion. Driessen's double play rating is a 2. Torres adds nothing. And then we look at the pivot, which when the ground ball goes to first, the shortstop's the pivot. Shortstop is Oquendo. He's got a 0 pivot, so we stick with this 2. So we can check in if it's a 1 or 2, it's a double play. Anything else could be a fielder's choice or a runner advancement. We'll check what happens. 5, so it's not going to be a double play. But if the 5 is greater than the BR rating of the runner on first, then there will be a force out, and it is because Parker's only a 2. So I'm going to call it a 3-6 fielder's choice. Concepcion will move to third base. So runners at the corners, and let's see about Driessen. He's got an attempt of 1. So I guess we'll go ahead and roll the D20 just in case. It's a 20, so it's a 20 means there's a chance of a pickoff, but there's no results here on Torres's card, so we just ignore that because there's no possibility of that. So we move on to the Sask at bat. 2-1 is another S1. That's the third S1 we've gotten to on Torres. So Torres is getting just lit up to no end. Concepcion will score from third easily, and Driessen to go from first to third on an S1. You need a 4 through 6, and Driessen is only at 2, so he has to stop at second base. So runners are at first and second, 3-0 Reds here in the first. Still only 1 out for Ron Oster. 1-4 is another S1. Boy, he's just finding all these S1s. He did it again. So again, the run from second will score because to go from second to home on that S1, it's anybody, 1 through 6. So Driessen, no matter how slow you are, you're going to score. Sask will stop at second. It's 4-0 Reds, and it's still only 1 out. They could very well bat around here in the first inning. The bullpen for the Mets has already gotten up and loosening, and their long man, Tim Leary, is loosening in the bullpen. So it could be a short day for Mike Torres. 5-5 is a range play at the ballpark. So we'll bring the ballpark back into play and do a range play on Riverfront Stadium. 5-2. That's a home run chance. So the first thing we got to do is check and see if it's a range play, if he gets to the range play, and also see if it's a home run or not. That's the other thing. Well, the first thing you got to see if it's a home run, because if it's a home run, then the range isn't going to matter. So it's home run 8, home run center field. The D20 is a 19 though, which is above his home run rating of 5. So there is no home run. Okay, so I should have rolled another D20 is what you're saying, ID. Okay, that's probably what I should have done, but it's too late now. I've already counted it. All right, so in this case, Bill Ardell fails on the home run chance because the 19 is well above his home run rating of 5. But we still need to see if the center fielder can make the catch on the range check. Center fielder is Mookie Wilson. He's a 3, so we're going to roll it 1 die and see if he gets the 3 or not. And he does. It's 2, so he is able to make the catch, but let's see if the runner can go from second to third. He may or may not. To tag up, you subtract 3 from the BR rating, so I don't think, no, Oster's not going to be able to make it. Let's see, what did you say, ID? I got to get this up here. It does look to me like, oops, come on, get up here. On the ballpark chart, you do roll for the home run. Yeah, I don't know that. Okay, yeah, it's kind of iffy on that one. I guess I probably should have re-rolled it. Now the D20 did fall in Milner's home run ratio as well. So it not only did it pass the question mark, but it also passed the home run on Milner, which was a 10, and that roll was a 9. But you may have to re-roll it again. So that's the only thing that's in question. So fly ball, runner at the hole. Now Mario Soto, the pitcher, gets to bat. 9th man to bat in the inning. 2-4, 2-4. It's a home run chance for Mario Soto, and he's actually got a home run rating of 5. So, but that's a 7. So 7 is above the 5. So no home run for Mario. So we're going to go to Mario's card to finish the at bat. 4-5 is a ground ball to short, and the inning is mercifully over for Mike Torres. 4 runs come in for Cincinnati. Cincinnati won this game in real life 8-1, and they're well on their way to doing it again. So 4-1 after 1 inning of play, and Mario Soto has been given a large lead to protect. So top of the second, Mookie Wilson, the batter for the Mets. 4-4 for Soto is a strikeout chance, 10. 10, a strikeout chance here against the righties, 11. You add 1's a 12. 10's below that, so it is a K. Mookie Wilson will bite the dust. Here's Hubie battling Brooks. 1-1. Blank for Soto because he's not tired, so we're going to treat it as a blank. Brooks' card, 5-5 is a star line 5, which on Soto is a fly to left. So obviously Soto doing very well. His score sheet's very clean. Can't say the same for Torres. 6-6. Ron Hodges is a lefty, and that means it's a star line. So we're going to roll and see what the star line is. It's a 5, which is a fly to left. It's a 1-2-3 inning. 1-2-3 inning for Soto. And Torres, you got to wonder how much longer he can go. They will probably, he's set to lead off the 3rd inning, so they'd love to be able to get him through this inning so they can pinch hit for him. But we'll wait and see how bad it turns out to be. Gary Reedus, back to the top of the order, 2-4. And that's a home run chance again. He's a 9 against a righty. That's a 12, so no home run. So we go to Reedus' card. 3-6 is still going to be a single pass second. So Gary Reedus with the base hit. And his attempt is a 10 once again. So we'll see if he is going to steal. He will. It's a 9, so he gets his chance to steal. His stolen base is a 16. -1 from Torres makes it a 15. Hodges is a +1 arm, so that brings it back to a 16. So a 1-16, and he's safe. And he is. Stolen base for Gary Reedus. So Reedus singles and steals. He's at second base, and that'll bring up Mr. Milner. 1-6, blank against a lefty, a strikeout against a righty. He's a lefty, so we go to Milner's card. Finish the at-bat, 5-4. Ground ball to second, and that will get the runner over to third base on that ball hit to the right side. So now runner is at third. They're going to play the infield in. They don't want to give up a cheap run. Already down 4-0. Here is Concepcion. 4-6 is a strikeout chance. That's a 1, so it's a big strikeout for Torres. He needed that. So 2 down for Dave Parker. Torres trying to get out of this. 2-2, that's potential walk. Parker, though, against a righty, only walks as a 6, but the stadium is +4. That makes it a 10. So that 9 falls within that range. That will, in fact, be a walk just because of Riverfront. So he will walk, and his attempt is a 3. So he could try to take off here. Let's see. It's a 5. It means it's a hit and run. Anytime you roll within 2 numbers higher than this number, it's a hit and run. So we're going to Dan Driessen for a hit and run check. 3-2 is a strikeout chance. 11 is too high, though, no strikeout. So we're going to finish the hit and run on Driessen's card. 6-1 is a ground ball to first, or to the pitcher, I should say. And since it's a 3rd out, it really doesn't matter about the hit and run. Inning is over, and Torres escapes. And I think that's going to be all for Torres. He's going to go 2 lonely innings. 2 lonely innings. Yeah, I've got to go back and watch the beginning and just kind of break down the actual at bat and all the roles, and see what the proper play should be on that one, because I'm thinking maybe he shouldn't have gotten the home run automatically, but you never know. All right, so the Mets are going to pinch hit for Torres. They want to get him out of there, and Rusty Staub, old Rusty Staub, is going to pinch hit for Torres. And coming into the game in long relief for the Mets will be Tim Leary. So Tim Leary, actually no, it won't be Tim Leary. They want somebody that's got longer relief. It's going to do Ed Lynch. Ed Lynch has longer relief ratings, so they're going to do Ed Lynch. But right now, pinch hitter is Rusty Staub. He will pinch hit in the third inning. That's pretty bad when your pitcher gets pinch hit for in the third inning. So here he goes. Soto, 1-5, strikeout chance. That's an 11. It's only a 7. Stadium makes it an 8, but 11 still higher, so no strikeout. Rusty Staub, 6-1. He actually singles past short, so Rusty Staub, first hit of the game for the Mets, and it's a pinch hitter, Rusty Staub, that gets it. He's got no attempt. He cannot run at all, so no worries about a strategy roll there. So now we're back to the top of the order, and Wally Backman. Okay, well, hopefully it is a home run ID. Like I said, I'm going to go back and watch the beginning of this and get the rule book out and see if I've got it right or if I messed it up or whatever. But the way this game is going, it may not matter anyway. All right, so it's a 2-4 off of Soto. Is a double question mark, which means Backman's a switch hitter batting left, so we come over here on the double question mark. It's a 1 through 18. We got a star line. That's a 15, so it is a star line. Star line 5 is a fly to left. So 1 away as Backman flies out. That brings up Jose Oquendo. Soto, 6-3. Kendo, that's a walk plus against a lefty. His walk rating is 11. Add 10 to that makes it a 21. Add the stadium makes it a 25. So even with a 17, that will be a walk. And that'll put 2 on as the old man Rusty Staub makes it to second base, huffing and puffing. And that brings up Keith Hernandez. 1-1. It's a blank because he's not tired, so we don't go to that single. We go to treat it as a blank. 4-3. 4-3 is a ground ball to second for Keith Hernandez. This could be a double play. Keith Hernandez has a 2 double play rating, but Soto takes away 1 from that, so it's a 1 for a double play rating. The pivot man, Concepcion's a 0, so nothing added there. So if we get a 1, it's a double play. Otherwise, it's probably a fielder's choice. It's a 5, so most likely a fielder's choice because Oquendo's BR rating is not above a 5. So it will be a fielder's choice 4-6. But Staub will go to third. So runners are going to be at the corners with 2 outs. And that brings up George Foster, the aged one, George Foster. 3-6 is blank off of Soto, so we treat that, we skip it and go straight to Foster. 3-6 again. It's second 3-6 roll in a row. It's a fly to right. And the inning's over. So nothing doing for the Mets. We go to the bottom of the third. Still 4-0 favor of the Reds. And Ed Lynch coming in relief of the beleaguered Mike Torres. So Ed Lynch will be coming on. And Torres had his issues for sure. It'll be a Sask, Oster, and Bill Ardell. All right, 6-2. 6-2 off of Lynch is a blank. And we go to a Sask. 2-4 is a split chance against a right-hander. It's a grounder to third against a lefty. Would have been a base hit. Let's ground ball to third. So there's 1 away. And Rob, it was certainly nice to meet you on Saturday. Had a nice time. Little visit. That was nice. It was hot, but it was okay. We survived the heat and storms and everything else. All right, 2-3 is a home run question mark. Well, Oster's a switch hitter, so he's a lefty. So it has to be a 1 to pass that check. That's a 10. Actually, it's a 16, so it fails that check. No home run. So we'll go straight to Oster's card. Finish the at-bat, 2-3, and that is a ground ball to third. And I believe that is 2 consecutive ground balls to third. So Ed Lynch has gotten 2 out in a row. That's a major miracle for the Mets. Here's Dan Billardello. 2-1, and against the lefty, it's a home run check. Against the righty, it's a strikeout. But 19 on the D20 is way too high for that. So we go to Billardello to finish the at-bat. 2-2, it's a fly to left, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Ed Lynch. Holds the fort. It is still 4-0 Reds as we go to the 4th here at Riverfront. In the 1984. Yeah, I'm actually 6'6". Yeah, everybody believed that. Everybody believed that one. All right. Maybe 6x6, horizontally instead of vertically. I don't know. But anyway, Soto facing Strawberry. 3-1 is a strikeout chance. And that's a 3, so 3 is much less than that, so it will be a strikeout. The straw man whiffs. So Darryl Strawberry out of there. Brings up Mookie Wilson. 5-6 is a range play. First range play of the game. So we're going to go to Mookie Wilson's card and check the range of one of the fielders. 3-2 is a Starline 4, which is a ground ball to short. So we're checking the range of Concepcion, which is a 2. So this has to be a 1 or a 2 to make the play. It's a 3. He does not make the play. So it's going to get by him for a base hit. So Mookie Wilson sneaks it past Concepcion for a base hit. Now his attempt is an 8. And +3 from Soto makes that attempt rating an 11. So a 1 through an 11, he will steal. Or at least attempt. He does not. It's 19, so he will not steal. Probably just as well because they're down 4-0. Here's Hubie Brooks. 3-3, and that's a home run question mark. Home run question mark 7. But 7's above his home run allowance, so no home run check. So we'll go straight to Brooks's card. Finish the at-bat. 3-2. Ground ball to short. So ground ball to short could be a double play. So Hubie Brooks' double play rating is a 3. Again, you lose 1 from Soto, it makes it a 2. And then the pivot, Mr. Oster, is a -1, so that drops it down to a 1. So this has to be a 1 for it to be a double play. 4 is not going to be a double play, but 4 is not greater than Mookie Wilson's BR rating, so Mookie Wilson will actually make it to second base, and the only play will be a 6-3 ground out on Hubie Brooks. So Brooks is out. Mookie Wilson does go to second, but now there are 2 outs. And it's up to Ron Hodges. Hello, Mr. RJL. Just saw you in ID's game a few minutes ago. Hope you're doing well. 5-5, Mario Soto. Strikeout chance. Hodges is a 3. He definitely struck out. So get those low D20s. It's going to be strikeout city. And that's going to end the inning. So Soto has pitched 4 scoreless frames against these 84 Mets. Go to the bottom of the 4th. And it's still 4-0 Cincinnati. Ed Lynch back out for his 4th inning of work, or 2nd inning of work, rather. He's going to be facing Mario Soto to lead things off. Soto grounded to short his first time. 3-5 is blank on Ed Lynch. No, it's not. I was looking at 4-5. 3-5 is actually the ballpark card. So, correct that. Ballpark card. 2-1. 2-1 is a Starline 3, which on Ed Lynch is a ground ball to third. So, 1 away. Soto's retired. Back to the top of the order for Reedus. He singled twice and stole a base. 6-6 is blank on Lynch. We go right back to Reedus. 6-3 is a Starline 2. That's a ground ball to third again. So 2 down. And on this inside pitch game, if you have blanks, that's usually a good thing because the hitters usually get themselves out most often. 5-3, and there you go. The pitcher gives up a single, S1 right there. So Ed Lynch gives up a single to Milner. Now Milner has an attempt rating of 6. -1 from Ed Lynch's hold rating means we got a 5. And that's an 8, so it's out of the range of a steal and a hit and run, so nothing's going on for Milner. He will just hold there. 2 outs for Concepcion. 6-6 is blank again for Lynch, so we go to Concepcion's card. And we get a 5-6, which is a ground ball to third, and that's going to end the inning. So other than the first inning when Torres imploded, we would have a shutout going right now for both teams. As it is, we go to the 5th, 4-0 Reds. And Mario Soto back out. He can face 29 batters, so he's got some pretty good length as far as possibly pitching a complete game if he pitches effective enough. Here we go. Soto, 4-3. And that's a possible error right there. Possible error on this next play. So let's see what happens. Ed Lynch is your batter. 5-1 is a Starline 2, which is a ground ball to second. The error check is an 11. Second baseman, Oster, his error rating is a 6. 11's higher than that, so no error. So it will be just simply a 4-3 grounder. And I probably should have pinch hit for Lynch, but they really need some length. They don't want to wear their bullpen out on opening day, so I went ahead and let him hit. 5-6 is a range play. So we go to the range play for Wally Backman. 2-5 is a star line 4, which is a ground ball to short. So we're checking the range of Concepcion, which is a 2. So this has to be a 1 or a 2, or it's a base hit. It's a 6, so it's definitely a base hit. Wally Backman sneaks it by Concepcion. Sneaks it right by him for the base hit. Now, Backman is a 5 attempt rating. I guess I should have checked that. And a +3 from Soto gives him an 8. So let's see if he does anything. It's an 8. 5, he will steal. So he will attempt to steal. Will Backman. Down 4-0. It's questionable, but I'll keep it going on the strategy roll. All right, so 8 is the attempted steal. But his stolen base number is a 16. Soto adds nothing to it or subtracts nothing from it. Bill Ardell subtracts 1, so it takes it down to a 15. So 1 to 15, he steals. It's a 3. It's possible throwing error on, when it's a 1, 2, or 3, it's a possible throwing error on the catcher, Bill Ardell. And his error rating is a 5. So we're going to re-roll this. If it's higher than 5, it's no error. If it's a 1 through 5, it is an error. No error. So it's just going to be a stolen base for Wally Backman. He steals second base, gets in scoring position with 1 out for Jose Oquendo. So Oquendo, 1-3 against Soto. That's a star line, automatic star line. So we're going to roll and see what the star line is. So Oquendo is automatically out. 2 is a ground ball to second. That will get the runner to third. So the stolen base probably prevented a double play. But the runner will go to third. Now there's 2 outs for Keith Hernandez. And they need a hit from Hernandez to break up the shutout. 2-6 is a possible error if there's a ground ball. It's the EG question mark. We go to Hernandez, 1-6. It is a ground ball. That's a ground ball to short. Concepcion's error rating in parentheses is a 6. That's a 17. That's well above the 6. So good play by Concepcion will end the inning. And now it's 5 scoreless for the Mets, as they can't get anything going against Mr. Soto. And we go to the bottom of the 5th. And Mr. Soto kind of sounds like that old wrestler, Mr. Saito. But I digress. All right, so Mario Soto rolling along. Now here's the Cobra, Dave Parker. 3-5 off of Lynch is the ballpark card. That @ sign means we go right back to the ballpark card. And we get a 3-3, which is a single to left field. So solid single for Dave Parker. His attempt is a 3. -1 from Lynch makes it a 2. And we get a 7, so nothing's going on. Parker will hold. Here's Driessen. 6-6 is blank off of Lynch. Go to Driessen. 6-4, and that's a fly to center. 1 away. No provision to go from first to second on the fly to center. So here's a Sask. 2-1, and that's a strikeout chance against a right-hander. The Saski's up all the way up to a 15. +1 makes it a 16. 9 well under 16, so it will be a strikeout. 2 down for Ron Oster. Switch hitter. 6-1, that's another error potentially on a grounder. Oster 5-3 is a ground ball to short, so we're checking the error of the shortstop, Hubie Brooks, the shortstop Oquendo, which is a 7. That's a 20, so no error there for sure. Just a good play to end the inning. So 5 innings are in the books. I'm sorry I'm not keeping up with the chat like I should. I probably should be looking at this a little more. Anybody missed? Mark, how you doing? Anybody I might have missed, I apologize. I'm not used to the live stuff, so sometimes I get busy into the game and forget that people were there. I know it's horrible, but it happens. All right. So George Foster now will come out, lead off the top of the 6th, trailing 4-0. Got to get something going against Super Mario here. 4-2, potential walk, and that's a 1, so it will definitely be a walk. So George Foster, leadoff walk. His attempt is a 1, but you add 3 from Soto, makes that a 4. So 1 through 4, he might try to steal. It's a 5, it's a hit and run. So Darryl Strawberry's coming up in a hit and run situation against Soto. 2-5, strikeout plus. So he's going to strike out, which means that hit and run now turns into a steal. So it's going to be a straight steal. So we'll bring Foster's card back up. He's a 10. Nothing from Soto, and Bill Ardell is a -1, so it's a 1 through 9. If it's a 1 through 9, he will make it. And he is out of there. So Foster, strike him out, throw him out, double play. for 2 quick outs. And now it takes us to Mookie Wilson. 2-3, error on a throw if a throw is necessary. Wilson, a 1-2, single to center, so there's no throw necessary because nobody's on base. So Wilson's aboard. Now he's got an attempt of 8, plus the 3 is an 11. That's a 1, so he will steal, or at least attempt. That's a 17, and again, -1 is a 16. So 1 through 16, and Mookie Wilson will steal. At 7, he has got a successful stolen base. So Mookie Wilson moves into scoring position with 2 outs for Hubie Brooks. The Babbler. 4-4 is a strikeout chance. 10 would normally be too high, but you add 4. I'm sorry, you only add 1. I was thinking the walks. That's only an 8, so 10's above 8, no strikeout. So we finish the at-bat with Hubie Brooks. 4-6, and that's a single pass or single out to center field. So single to center, and we'll see if Mookie can score. He probably can. On an S8 to go from second to home, you add 2 to their BR rating. His BR rating is already a 4, that makes it a 6. And Milner's got a -1 arm, so that would make it a 5. But with 2 outs, you add 1, it gives him a 6. So since it's a 6, it's just basically no throw. He will score automatically. And the Reds are finally on the board by the score, and they trail it 4-1. 4-1, and let's see, Brooks has an attempt of 1, plus 3 makes this a 4 for a stolen base attempt. 7, nothing's happening with Hubie. So that brings up Ron Hodges. 3-2 for Soto, and that's the ballpark card again, the little @ sign. So we go to Riverfront. 6-4 on Riverfront, and that is blank. So we have a rare play. When there's a blank on the stadium card, you go to the rare play book. Or not the book, but the chart. And we go to it with the runners on base because there's somebody on first base. We're going to roll 2 D6s and see what it says. We get a 43. All right, 43. Grounder to third baseman, throws in the dirt, making the first baseman scoop the ball. Resolve the play using a range play check for the first baseman to see if he scoops it. Otherwise, it's an error on the third baseman. All right, so it's a bad throw from the third baseman to Sask, who's already got a 19 error rating. So we're checking Driessen's scoop rating. He's a 3. So if this roll is a 1, 2, or 3, he will scoop it for the out. If he can't, then it's an error. It's an error. So E5 on a Sask. And that'll put runners at first and second. And now we'll get a pinch hitter for the relief pitcher, Lynch, who did very well for himself. I mean, he stemmed the tide big time. So we got a pinch hitter coming up for the Mets. They've already used Rusty Staub, but now they will use Danny Uriah Heap. So Danny Heap will be coming on. And the Reds are hoping they're not in a heap of trouble. So here's Danny Heap. Big spot, 2 on. Heap is the tying run at the plate. 5-2 on Soto is a strikeout chance, and he will strike out. So Heap fails in the pinch hitting duties, and we only get 1 run for the Mets. Cuts the lead to 4-1, but we go to the bottom of the 6th, and we'll get a new pitcher for those Mets, since Lynch had to be pinch hit for. And coming up for the Reds, it'll be Bill Ardell, Soto, and Reedus, all righties. So they will go to a right-hander out of the pen. And it will be Tim Leary. So Tim Leary is on to pitch, facing Bill Ardell, the catcher. 1-3, and that's a strikeout chance right there. 5 is well under the 7, plus she had 1 makes it an 8, so 5 is definitely less than the 8. It is a strikeout. So Bill Ardell is gone. Here's Soto. But they might pinch hit for Soto. Let's see. He's faced 27 batters. He's allowed to face 29 before he gets tired. So I'm thinking they're going to go ahead and pinch hit for Soto, because he kind of labored those last couple innings. So we will get a pinch hitter for Mario Soto. Soto is completed with 6 innings. Will qualify for the win, assuming the team holds on. And the pinch hitter will be Dwayne Walker. Left-handed outfielder Dwayne Walker will pinch hit. So Dwayne Walker, pinch hitter, with 1 out, and the base is clear. Tim Leary, 6-1, blank. So we go to the batter's card, pinch hitter Walker. Pinch hitter Walker, 1-1 is a star line 3, which is a ground ball to short. So 2 outs. Walker fails in the pinch. And now there's 2 outs, bases clear for Gary Reedus. And that is a 5-4. Leary, 5-4, goes to the ballpark again. So we're going to be looking at Riverfront. 4-2. 4-2 is a fly to right. That's going to end the inning. So again, other than that first inning, the Reds have really much done nothing. They just nailed Torres to death, but other than that, they haven't done a thing. So that's going to do it for the Reds here in the 6th. We go to the top of the 7th, and we need a new pitcher for the Reds, as Soto goes 6 solid, gives up 1 run. Now for the Mets, they have the top of the order, Backman, Oquendo, and Hernandez. So the Reds might be looking for a lefty, and they will. We go to Bill Scherer, the lefty. So Bill Scherer. Raise your hand if you're sure. So Bill Scherer, it will be on, the lefty reliever. And he's going to face Wally Backman, and Backman will now turn around and bat right-handed. 4-3. 4-3 is a 4-3 is a strikeout chance. 9 is not higher than the 8, but you do add 1 from the stadium. That makes that a 9. So 9 and a 9, that falls in a strikeout. So Riverfront Stadium gets him the strikeout. By adding that 1 extra bump, he gets the strikeout. Brings up Scherer, facing Oquendo, 2-3. Potential walk. 17, though, is way out of range for walks. So Oquendo would finish on his card. 5-2. He grounds to third. And there's 2 up, 2 down for Mr. Keith Hernandez. And we're 1 out away from the 7th inning stretch. 5-3. 5-3 is a strikeout against a righty, but a blank against a lefty. So we're going to go to Keith Hernandez. 5-5 is against a lefty, is a single. So Hernandez, they both had kind of opposite splits there. Single pass first base for Keith Hernandez. He's aboard. He will not try to go anywhere. George Foster, the batter, facing Scherer. 2-3 is another walk chance. That's a 1, so that's a definite walk. So first and second, 2 outs. And that brings up Darryl Strawberry. The tying run is at the plate in Mr. Strawberry. Lefty on lefty against Scherer. 2-1. That would be a single, but he's not tired. So we skip that and go to Strawberry. 1-1 is a fly to center, and that ends the inning. So Scherer did his job. He went 1 inning. That's all they wanted him to do. Hello, Earl and Brandon, and anybody else I missed. I'm sorry, I haven't been keeping track of the chat like I probably should. Trying to keep my concentration on the game. Sometimes I forget that I'm actually live and not just recording. Forget if it's live or Memorex, so forgive me for that. All right, so we go to the bottom of the 7th. Bottom of the 7th, Leary back out for his 2nd inning of work. He can face 7 batters. He's only faced 3, so he's good to go. Here's Milner. 4-1 off of him is a blank again. A lot of blanks on Leary's card. And it's a 2-1, which is a pop up to first. So Milner pops it up to Hernandez, 1 away. Concepcion, 3-5, and that's going to go to the ballpark card. Ballpark card for Riverfront, once again, 4-2, fly to right. So 2 down. 2 down, and that's going to bring up Dave Parker. And I was actually talking to Earl offline about what I was going to do next after the May Madness. I really wanted a strat break, so that kind of took me away from going right back to the White Sox. I wanted something different. So I thought about, and I may or may not still do this with the 84 set, but I thought about doing like a game of the week, the kind of the way Uncle Ron does it on the Action PC. Because I do have the 84 season on Replay Baseball. I could replay or sim the other games and just pick 1 game a week. And I want to, that way I can show all the teams. And then once you get to maybe say August, then kind of concentrate on just what the pennant races are. That's a possibility. I'm kind of experimenting right now just to see what seems right. So right now it's just kind of a mishmash. All right, so Parker's up 4-2. Walk plus to a righty, but against a lefty, it is blank. So we go to Parker's card. Parker, 6-3 is a fly to center, and that's going to end the inning. So Leary and the Mets bullpen has tossed 6 shutout innings. So if it wasn't for Mike Torres imploding, Mets might be in the lead right now. So Scherer will come out because he was just there for that 1 inning, I think. Let's see, Mookie Wilson's coming up, and then Hubie Brooks, and then Hodges. Faced 6 batters, he's already faced 5, so I think he does need to come out. So they will go to the bullpen, and they will go to Tom Hume. Tom Hume, the righty, will be on. Tom Hume. Their closer is Ted Power, so he would be ready to come in the 9th, assuming there's still a save situation going on. Right now, it is Mookie Wilson, Hubie Brooks, and Ron Hodges, and if anybody gets on, Tim Leary would come up, but they'd pinch hit for him as well. The first things first, here is Mookie, 4-5. 4-5 is a potential walk. That's a 16, well above his walk range, so no walk. And then Mookie Wilson, 3-3 is a ground ball to second. So Mookie is out of there. And this score sheet I got off Rombo Baseball. I think it's Baseball Sim Research or whatever. Really neat site that has a lot of the score sheets on it. Pre-printed with the lineups, which saves a lot of time. Plus I write sloppy, so it's nice to have a nice printed lineup name there. 4-5 for Hume is a potential walk, but 20 is way too much. So we go to Hubie Brooks to finish. And Hubie, a 6-1 flies to center. Out number 2. And here's Ron Hodges. Now, if Hodges gets on, then they will pinch hit for Leary. Probably pinch hit for him. Probably replace Leary anyway. Blank on Hume. So we go to Hodges. It's a 1-2, and he's going to double to left field. How about that? So Ron Hodges will double to left field, and that will bring up the pitcher spot, and we'll get a pinch hitter. And the pinch hitter, so I can see the Mets got on the bench. They've already used Staub, and they've already used Heap. So they have Ron Gardenhire, Mike Fitzgerald, or Junior Ortiz, and the highest average on the team of those 3 is Ron Gardenhire, manager of the Tigers, former manager of the Twins. So Gardenhire will pinch it. They have no more lefties on the bench. So Gardenhire, the pinch hitter, against Hume. And let's see, Hodges on second base. He sure as heck's not going anywhere. 3-5, and that's a strikeout chance. 14, though. Gardenhire's a 13, but you add 1 from the stadium, makes it a 14, so Gardenhire will strike out. And that's going to end the inning, so Hume does his job. It is still 4-1. Now, the Reds won this game in real life 8-1, so I thought they might get 8 runs in this game, but it looks like the Met bullpen is going to make sure that doesn't happen. But either way, they are up 4-1 as we go to the bottom of the 8th, and we need a new pitcher for the Mets. And let's see who's coming up for the Reds. They got Driessen, Sask, and Oster. So you could go lefty or righty in this case. Let's see who they want to go to. Looks like they will go to Doug Sisk. So Doug Sisk is on, the right-hander. Doug Sisk. Orozco's the closer. Sisk also had 15 saves, but Orozco had, in 84, Orozco had 31 saves. So he's more like the setup guy. So he's going to be on there to face Mr. Driessen. Try to keep the score 4-1. 6-4 is, against a lefty, is a star line, so it's automatic out. Let's see what kind of an out. 5, it's a fly to center. So flies out to Mookie Wilson, 1 away. Here's Nick Sask. Saski, a 3-1 is a potential walk, but 15, well, 15 may not be too high. Look at this. 16, add 4 is a 20, so 15 will fall into that category for a walk. So a Saski walks, his attempt is a 1, but the rule is if you've got less innings to go than the spread of the game, in other words, the difference in the runs is 3 and the difference in the innings is only 2, so you can eschew the strategy rolls, which is what I'm going to do until the game gets closer, if and when. So Ron Oster's going to bat. 4-1, a possible hit by pitch. Now, Sisk must hit a lot of people because he's got a +10 right here. So 1 here, so that's a total of 11. So 7 is less than the 11, so he will hit Ron Oster. So he hits Oster, and that puts runners at first and second with 1 out for Bill Ardell. Pitcher spot is next, so pinch hitter time for the Reds. See who they have on the bench. They've already used Dwayne Walker. They do have Cesar Cedeno, You also have Tom Foley, a lefty. But it looks like Cedeno has picked up a bat. So Cesar Cedeno will pick up a bat and pinch hit for the pitcher. But right now, Bill Ardell, 5-5 is the ballpark card. So we go right back to Riverfront Stadium. 4-4, and that's a pop out to the catcher. So put it right up the chute. Hodges gets it, 2 down, and now Cesar Cedeno, the pinch hitter, will come in for Mr. Hume, and that means Ted Power time in the 9th. So right now it is Cedeno. Now if the Reds do happen to score a run here, then it would no longer be a save situation, and they would go to somebody else other than Power probably, but maybe not. I might just go with Power anyway. Here's Sisk. 3-4 is blank, so we go to Cedeno. 2-3, and that's a fly to center. Had he been facing a lefty, it would have been a double to center, but since he's facing a righty, it is a fly to center, and the inning is over. And the score remains 4-1, so we do have a save situation. Technically, a 3-run game is a save situation. So the Reds will be bringing on their closer, Ted Power. I'm sorry, not Ted Power. Was it Ted Power? Yeah, I guess it was Ted Power, wasn't it? Yeah, because he had 11 saves. That's the highest on the team that I can see for all the guys that I'm looking at. 11 saves was their high. I think they kind of had like a committee pop, probably. So probably didn't have that many save situations to worry about. So Ted Power is on, and he'll be facing the top of the order. Backman, Oquendo, and Hernandez. On the bench for the Mets, they don't have much. They've got Junior Ortiz and Mike Fitzgerald, 2 backup catchers. So they'll probably just go with their main lineup. 6-1, Backman's a switch hitter batting left, which means it's a walk plus. So even though this is a 3, you add 10 to this 23. So yeah, that's a 3. That's definitely a walk by a long shot. So Backman's aboard. I'm not going to, like I said, I'm not going to, down by 3, you're not going to try to steal and run yourself out of an inning. So that's what that rule is about, where you can just eschew the strategy rolls when it's a bigger score with the 9th inning. 3-5 for Power rather, is a strikeout chance. 19's too much though. So we go to Oquendo's card. Finish the at bat. 1-1 is a ground ball to second. Could be a double play. Although his double play rating's only a 1. And the pivot for Concepcion's a 0. So this has to be a 1 to be a double play. And it is. It's a double play. Go figure. How do you like that, folks? It's a double play. 4-6-3. And that may do it for the Mets. All of a sudden now there's 2 out spaces empty for Mr. Keith Hernandez. Power 4-2. Ballpark card again. Riverfront Stadium. 6-1. Ground ball to first, and that's going to do it as Driessen steps on the bag. And the Reds win opening day by the final score of 4-1. They won in real life this game 8-1. So the Mets did their job getting the 1 run, but certainly the Reds faltered. No team committed an error, just like they did in real life. I'll look at the hits real quickly. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 hits for the Reds. And I'm sorry, for the Mets. And for the Reds, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9. Got them for 9. All right, so compared to real life, it was 8-12-0 in real life. They got 4-9-0. It was 1-7-0 in real life, and they were around the button 1-7-0. So the Mets came up exactly and did their share. Reds were a little bit light on their runs, but it was enough to get the win. And so that's opening day 1984. And like I said, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this 84 thing. One of my initial thoughts was to do, like a season replay on the computer for PC replay, and then pick a game of the week in Inside Pitch to play out, and then sim everything else and kind of give updated standings and so forth. Because I don't have the computer version of Inside Pitch for 1984, and B, Inside Pitch computer does not have an AI or any simming. You have to physically play every game on the computer, and that would just take way too long. I'd be just as fast to do it with cards and dice. So the only way I can really sim everything to get win-loss records and so forth is to use the Replay Baseball computer, and then strategically pick out a game of the week to play on the cards and dice. And what I did is I printed out all the games I wanted to pick out, rotating between National League and American League every other week, and trying to get make sure I got all the teams in. Might be a couple of times you see teams twice, but every team's gonna be on there at least once, no matter how bad they are. But I thought, since the tradition, and I'm a traditional guy, I like tradition in baseball, Cincinnati is a traditional home opener, so I figured you had to play there, right? So that's what I did with that. And also, I'm glad I decided to do the corner rounder on these cards, because I really like the way they move. They're almost like Aback cards. They're really easy to shuffle back and forth. The ones with the squares, sometimes the corners get hung up and whatnot. So I really liked doing that. These cards are pretty decent shape. Nowhere near as good as Inside Pitch, but still not bad. They're nice and glossy compared to the PDF versions. And I'll show you a PDF card, because in the extra players, the Mets had Dick Tidrow. So now I got to find Dick Tidrow. So this is a Dick Tidrow versus a Craig Swan card. So when I print off Dick Tidrow, obviously it looks nowhere near as good as Craig Swan. A, it's smaller. B, it's not as glossy. I mean, the numbers are there. The things that, I can use this card to play the game very easily, but aesthetically, I certainly like this a whole lot better. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this. I might do a couple of games, see how people like it. If they like the the game of the week kind of concept. I'm not sure who the next. I don't have the other score sheets in front of me, so I don't know who the next game of the week is. I know it's an American League game. I just don't know which one. Off the top of my head, I think it's Minnesota and the Yankees, but I'm not sure. I have to look it up. But this game was played April the 2nd, so it would be a game played around April 10th, April 11th of 1984. I think it's the Twins and the Yankees is what I picked out. So that's a possibility for next time. I don't want to forget about the 77 White Sox, but again, that's on Strat, so I'm really for lack of a better term, got stratted out with the May Madness tournament. So I will come back to that eventually, but I do love this game Inside Pitch. I also like Payoff Pitch. So I'm trying to, not get burned out on one particular game. So I thought maybe switching around might be better. Most of the games I play with this will probably be recorded and uploaded, because on live, the quality of the video is not quite as good. At least I don't think it is. I think it looks better when I record it and upload it. Might be a little blurry. I don't know if you guys can see all right, if it's coming through with good quality or not. It's hard to say, but I do know that when I go live, I can go as long as I want. Sometimes if I record, like 47 minutes in, all of a sudden it'll just conk out on me. So I definitely get frustrated when that happens. So may do it live, may do different things. I know Earl said he bought one of these towers, different wood grain version or whatever, but boy, I'll tell you what, I paid some good money for this. No doubt. I'm cheap, but I did go ahead and splurge. Rather than paying $60 or $75 for another card set I won't get around to playing, I decided that this would increase the value of my playing as it is. And rather than having to sit there and do this all the time or whatever, I think you do that and you're done. And it gets, I think, truer rolls as well. And especially when I'm rolling D10s in Payoff Pitch, this is a lot better. You could put 4, 5, 6 dice in here if you really wanted to. You could load this thing up. And let's see here. We try putting some more dice in there. Get some D10s. Let's get some D10s in there. Let's see. It's D10. What's the other D10? All right. So if you're doing like Payoff Pitch or something, the D10s, they go through no problem. If I want to do all these together, they go through no problem. If I wanted to grab, I don't know how many dice you want to grab. We can just get them all in here and see. They're going to all go through no problem. So, it was an initial investment, but it's also something that's going to last, for as long as I'm around, I think. So I will never have to buy another one, that's for sure. But I do think it it does add to the enjoyment of the hobby, and I think it'll actually get me to roll more games doing it this way. And it makes it easier when I'm trying to do video as well, because I don't have dice rolling all over the place and doing all that kind of thing. But yeah, it's a splurge. It's exactly what it is. But rather than going out and paying $60 or $70 for another inside pitch set or a strat set that I already got enough of those, I don't really need any more. I've got more than I'm playing with right now. I thought the best use of my funds was to upgrade what I have as far as this goes. Maybe one of these days I'll upgrade to a camera of some sort. I don't know, but my phone seems to do okay for me for what I want. I don't need to be on that side of the camera. I'm very happy on this side of the camera, so you don't need to see my mug. As long as you can see the score sheet and dice and the cards, I figure that's good enough. So hopefully you enjoyed that opening day 1984 presentation, Mets and the Reds. What I'll probably do now in the next couple of days or next day or two is I will manually input this game into Replay Baseball's computer so the Mets and Reds get credit for this game. Then I'll sim the other ones until we get to the Twins and Yankees, and I'll stop at that point, and then I'll write down either on a piece of paper or print out what the standings are for each of the teams, and that way you can kind of follow the pennant race all the way through, hopefully till the end. See how long it goes. But if I'm only playing one game a week or maybe 2 games a week, probably 1 game a week, I figure that would be doable and not overbearing. And at the same time, I could probably still go back and sneak in the White Sox strat in between. So that gives me a couple things to play during the week. So if I'm doing 2 or 3 videos a week, that's probably the most I'm going to be able to do or feel like doing at the time. Because I like to play a lot of games offline myself, just on my own in my quiet time. So it's not that I don't like doing videos. I do very much. It's a lot of fun. But a lot of times I also like to just have the kind of the downtime of just being by myself. I don't know if anybody else can relate to that, but I'm kind of a introvert quite a bit. So I do. And Rob, it definitely was nice to meet you on Saturday. And Mrs. Rob, fun time there. I'm sorry you didn't feel well. I didn't know. You certainly looked like you were doing okay when you were there on Saturday, in good spirits, but maybe it was something you ate. Maybe it was the protesters in the street. I'm not sure what it was, but hopefully you are back in going strong going forward. Well, it's getting late, I do believe, and got to go to work tomorrow. Not go to work. Well, I do have to go to work. I don't have to go anywhere, but I work from home, but I still have to sign on and do my work and be awake and be cognizant. And cups of coffee help some, but don't help if you're not getting any sleep. So that's going to do it from here. Next video will probably be in a couple days. I'll probably get back to the White Sox, to be quite honest. I'm going to bite the bullet and just play some strat. I think I've got enough. I think I've been away from strat for about a week now, so I think I'm okay to get back to strat. So my plan is to rotate strat and inside pitch 2 games a week. 1 game of the White Sox replay and 1 game of this season replay, just to kind of mix it up and keep a flow going. That's what my plan is. Of course, anytime you ever start a project, sometimes the best laid plans get put away, but that's my initial plan. I'm sticking to it. So hopefully I can get that done. And work from home anyway makes that easier because I'm pretty much gaining 2 hours a day, not having to drive through all that traffic. So since I'm here, I can literally go from shutting down my computer at work to walking right upstairs and rolling a game. So it's the time it takes me to drive home, I can play a game. So that makes it a lot easier to get some of these games done. So that's going to do it from here. I hope everybody's had a great day and good start to your June. It doesn't look good for Major League Baseball, but I don't really care because I really, to be honest with you, I haven't missed it. Between everybody putting out the content with the different board games and computer games, I've enjoyed watching everybody on their channel play their games, and that's kind of and me playing mine offline. That's kind of scratched my itch for me, so to speak. So I'm not really hurting on that. If they come back, they come back. If they don't, they don't. I'm not going to worry about it. So again, the final score here on opening day: the Reds repeat history and beat the Mets by the score of 4-1. Winning pitcher was Mario Soto. The loser was Mike Torres. And the save to Ted, Tower of Power. Reds 1-0, Mets 0-1. All right, everybody have a great night, and I will see you all down the road.